Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel for another Street Fighter Duel video. So yes, it's another video going over Bison, but I feel like this is quite an important video because some people are actually thinking that Bison is bugged, because when you are sometimes running stages, you will find that your Bison doesn't always necessarily survive, okay? He might die before other people within your team, and I'll try to demonstrate that just now in real time. Don't worry, but I've got footage to actually break this down in great detail for you. But hopefully this happens here. It might not, but we'll see. He usually dies first in this run. This is what I was able to use to capture the footage and stuff like that. But basically, going by his kit, you would think that 3 seconds, that's how long it takes for the move. You've got 3 seconds worth of immunity. He should not die. He should be someone who stays alive, right? So it didn't happen that time. We'll try again. But what people have been finding is sometimes Bison can actually be the first person to die on the team. And realistically, reading through the description, you would think he was basically bugged based on that, because if you look at what it says he's got his 3 seconds of damage immunity, he's also got a 3-second trigger, and that would lead people to believe he wasn't going to die. Now, as per usual, during this he's not dying, but he will. I guarantee he will. Maybe it'll take 2 or 3, but I guarantee you will see he's going to be the first person to die, okay? Now, the reason that I am not showing it off of pre-recorded footage is because I've already chopped that footage up to actually break this down in great detail so that you guys can see exactly what's going on, why it's happening, and understand potentially going forward how to make sure it doesn't continue to happen to you, okay? I'll try it one more time. If it doesn't work, I'll just go to the footage, because you'll kind of see it happening in the footage, but the footage is broken down enough so that I can explain what's going on. So hopefully this time he will actually die first. As per usual, you click on to record the video and things are playing out differently from the way you would expect them to play out. And this is definitely one of those times. Right, cue the footage. We're just going to go to the footage and I'll break it down for you completely, okay? Easiest way to do it. In fact, we'll try one more, because if it doesn't happen in real time, it makes the explanation harder. Right, come on. I want him to die this time, which he should hopefully do. Honestly, did this earlier, every single time I did it, he died. Straight away. I think he'll die this time. Did he die? Did he die? Right, yeah, he's dead, right? And obviously you can see there's still 2 people alive on the team. He's dead, okay? Why did that happen? That's what people want to know. That's why they think the unit's bugged. Because it happens sometimes and not all the time, that is definitely something that makes people think, wait a minute, that must be a bug. Why is that happening? Well, here's the explanation to why it's happening, okay? Right, so first I want to show you this, okay? This is his full move from the moment he gets struck until the moment his move completes, his complete move animation. So this is from the moment your immunity begins until you're completed with this overall sequence of events, right? So there we go, going through, he's casting his move, and that's it completed, okay? Now, there is a delay between you being immune to going below 1 HP, and it lasts exactly 1 second, right? So this is 1 second. After that 1 second, the move itself takes 3 seconds, okay? And this is it playing out, right? So this time I'm just going to play that back and not stop it and pause it, okay? So this is your entire move, okay? The first 1 second of that is when you cannot drop below 1 HP begun, okay? And then after that, the vortex takes 3 seconds to complete, okay? So that's what's basically happening. That is Bison in a nutshell. That's his passive, okay? So what happens? Why are you dying, okay? So what I've done is I've got footage of him dying, okay? And I've also got footage of him surviving, and I've got them side by side so that you can see exactly what's happening here, and I'll explain to you the reason that it's happening, okay? Okay, so this is 2 totally separate runs, okay? This one's running at normal speed. Don't worry, I've got this clip slowed down for you guys so that you can see what's going on here, okay? Now, this I'm going to let play at normal speed first of all. and you'll probably be able to tell exactly what's happening. So on the left, okay, that is the move in its entirety. That's what you just watched, okay? That's the move completely running through. It's his immunity through to the end of his vortex, okay? On the right is a run where he died. So we'll let that play. It's slowed down a little bit actually. Right, I don't know if anyone's seen what happened there. So if you watch again, it maybe went too quick for you. Right, you might have caught it, you might not have caught it. Don't worry, I've got it slowed down. Hard for me to catch the pause here. It's super quick because it's such a short clip, but if you're watching properly you will notice that on the right hand side the screen goes black. Bison's dead, okay? But the move hasn't completed, okay? So if we go into slow motion, it makes it a little bit easier to actually see what's going on, gives me more time to pause it basically, okay? So we're running through, from the moment immunity started, the units are doing their thing. I'll go in the middle here just so that I'm not completely blocking everything. Okay, now you could quite clearly see there that the one on the right, we stopped, okay? We stopped the video because that was when Bison died, okay? Now I'm just going to loop that because not having it looped is meaning that I'm having to stop and start all the time. And I don't really know what just happened there, but let's see if I can make that come back. Okay, I'm gone for the rest of the video. Don't really know why I disappeared, but hey, we'll just go with it. So we're going to loop it this time, and you're going to see, without me obscuring this in any way, shape or form, I'm not in the road anymore. We're going through. Dalsim on the right is coming in. He's doing the attack. I'm pausing it here so that I can catch it at the right moment. There, Bison's dead, but the move hasn't completed, okay? I know it's a very short frame, okay? But what's basically happening is you have a 3-second trigger on this, okay? But it's 3 seconds from when the vortex starts. I know that maybe sounds a little bit confusing, but it's a little bit like the EX pizza move, okay? When you cast the EX pizza move, it's not very clear on its description. There's a delay between you actually getting your health and your damage immunity, okay? They don't happen at the exact same time. So what's happening here is you are getting, first of all, you're getting your damage immunity. Then the vortex starts. Now, in this game, animations can't overlap. So the vortex has to complete before you can cast another vortex. That's why the trigger is 3 seconds, okay? So the 3-second count is actually starting from the moment that Bison casts the vortex, not from the moment he gets damage. Can't drop below 1 HP. The issue is, from start to finish, that actually lasts 4 seconds, not 3 seconds. Now it's a very tiny window, but that is where people are dying, okay? So basically, the reason that Bison isn't bugged is more or less to do with wording. I think they probably could have worded his passive better, in the same way that they could have worded the Pizza EX better. It would probably save a lot of confusion if they had just changed that and say that it can only be triggered every 4 seconds, because that 1 second of damage immunity at the start is obviously taking time away from the 3 seconds it takes to complete and go through the vortex move, okay? So essentially what it should say is this can only be triggered every 4 seconds rather than saying every 3 seconds, because again, of this 4 second period, 3 seconds at the start you are damage immune, but 1 second into that you're casting your vortex, which is going to last 3 seconds. And after that vortex is complete, Bison can then do his passive again. So essentially, he's not bugged. I don't think they've worded his passive wrong. I just think they probably could have been a little bit clearer in the wording of his passive, because the issue is, quite simply, you're having just 1 second at the end of the move where Bison is essentially, I don't mean a sitting duck, but he's vulnerable to dying. okay, in that last 1 second, because again, your immunity to death has already elapsed and you're still in the midst of casting your move, and that is still during the period that the trigger is in cooldown. Now, it kind of does say it within his passive, I guess. If you actually read his passive, it does kind of say it, but I guess it kind of doesn't. It really depends on your perspective, but I'll jump over and I'll just show you how his passive is kind of worded correctly. So the issue is, if we take a look at Bison's passive, to be honest, it's probably the way it's worded is a bit confusing, right? If you look at it, it says, if there is a surviving fighter other than M. Bison, when this fighter receives fatal damage, the fighter's HP will not fall below 1 for 3 seconds, and the fighter will recover 60% of max HP over this period, okay? So that's the first part of his passive triggering, right? Also, Invitation to Hell will be unleashed. Summon a vortex beneath a random enemy that is equivalent to Agony Vortex level 1. Trigger interval 3 seconds, right? The way that 3 seconds makes it sound as though the whole thing is 3 seconds, right? But it's not. These two things, while they go together, they're not mutually exclusive, if that makes sense. So the whole thing is taking longer than 3 seconds, but you need to wait for Agony Vortex to complete, which takes 3 seconds before it can go again, okay? So, I mean, I guess realistically what it should say is it should actually say that the entire thing takes 4 seconds. It should say at the bottom. It would be clearer if it just says trigger interval 4 seconds. Then nobody would be confused, okay? But that's not what it says, right? And technically speaking, no one can actually complain and say it's wrong, because it does actually state at the top that he is in I cannot go below 1 HP for 3 seconds. And then it says you can trigger this again after 3 seconds, but it is kind of saying that you can trigger it 3 seconds after triggering the vortex. Now again, everything moves that quickly, most people probably didn't notice it, and I feel like they could make life a lot easier if they just said trigger interval 4 seconds, okay? But it is what it is. That's the issue. It's not a bug. There's literally just a 1 second delay. So essentially, this is imagine this again. You don't even need to imagine it actually. I mean, I'll just run the video, because why not? It's the easiest way of actually doing this. But if you have a 4 second period, for 3 seconds of that period, you are invulnerable. For the other 1 second, you are essentially open, and you can take damage and you can die. And that is what's happening. You're basically seeing a situation where we're just going to run through, have the whole thing lasting 4 seconds like this, and then just unfortunately you've got that little period of time where you are essentially able to die, which is during this period here. So that's the issue. It's not a bug. I guess if you really wanted to argue, you could say that the passive's badly worded. I don't think it's wrongly worded, but I think it's badly worded. I will agree there. They could have been clearer. But to all you people wondering if your Bison is bugged, the answer is no. Simple as that. Yeah, so anyway, I don't usually do detailed breakdowns like this, but hey ho, may as well clear it up. I'm usually the one saying a unit is bugged, but this time I'm debunking it. It's not bugged. There's your answer. Anyway, I've been Hayzink, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.